What is happening, YouTube? I know it's been a minute, but today we're gonna bring y'all a little simple video. I mean, it's a video that I kind of wish was out when I was buying my Jenny, and would have given me a better description on both cars and what my options were and the potential and whatnot. But I'm gonna be talking about if a 2.0 is right for you or if a 3.8 is right for you, right? I don't own a 3.8, I own a 2.0. As you can see, I mean, we got a turbo gauge right there, so it's clearly a 2.0. And yeah, I've got, friends with 3.8s, and from their experiences, the 3.8 is a fun Jenny, it's a fun car, but it's got its limits. And I think that's where the 2.0 steps in. So, let's start off with number one. What do you want out the car? Do you want out-the-box power? Because if so, then I think 3.8 is the best option. Because out-the-box, the 3.8 is a lot faster, and it's a V6. So it's going to be a lot faster, Or if you want tuner capability, though, you're going to want to go with a 2.0. Because the potential on the 2.0 versus 3.8 is, a big difference. Because at the end of the day, 3.8 is just a straight 6, right? There's no turbo in the mix. There's no supercharger in the mix. So it's just a straight 6. You go full bolt-on, you go tune, you go 85, you get what you get, right? However, no turbo means probably more reliability, less issues, less leaks, less oil leaks. I mean, it can be better in its own ways. But with the 2.0, you've got the turbo, and that means you can go tune, you can go full bolt-on, you get a bigger horsepower gain. And on top of that, if you're not satisfied with that, guess what? You can go get a bigger turbo. It's so simple. Like, you just throw on a bigger turbo. And if you're not satisfied with that, you go bigger injectors, or you upgrade the fuel system, whatever it is, right? So you have more room to do more things and spend less money, because you're not adding a turbo to the equation, you're just upgrading the turbo that's already there, right? So everything's already there, the piping, the car's already made with a turbo, so it's easier to just say, hey, I'm just throwing on a new turbo, time to get a tune, right? And then you go from there, you go on some E85, and I mean, you're making an extra 100 plus horsepower, or 150 horsepower, depending on what turbo you go with, who's your tuner, all that good stuff. But that's where I think when it comes to potential, I think the 2.0 personally has more potential. But if you want just out the box, full bolt-on fuel, more power, I feel like the 3.8 is the better option. And my 2.0 is full bolt-on, it's tuned. It's making about, from what I've been told, it's making about 300. I've never gotten a dyno, so don't quote me, but that's around the usual go tune from Alpha Speed with the full bolt-ons that I have, right? So with the 3.8, I believe you're making probably roughly around like 350. So you're already faster by 50 horsepower, and it's the same weight car. It's also a rear-wheel drive. So at that point, I would say the 3.8 is better. But now, if I was like, hey, I want to upgrade my turbo, rebuild my turbo or buy a brand new turbo, and I mean, I'm gapping the 3.8 after that, because now we're talking about like 400 horsepower, right? So it's 50 more horsepower, plus it's a turbo, so on the top end, it's going to spew up, and I'm going to gap him. I mean, that's the simple math, right? That's what's going to happen. I'm going to gap him. But if we're talking about out the box, stock for stock, I'm losing. Tune for tune, I think I'm still losing. I haven't raced in the 3.8s, but I think I'm still losing, to be completely honest. But will the 3.8 give you those noises? No, most definitely won't. Ooh, buddy in the little AMG over there, huh? I would definitely want to get in a run. I mean, I'll probably get gapped, but it'll be good though. It'll be fun. But yeah, so when it comes to potential, I think the 2.0 is where it's at. But if we're talking about out the box and just a tune and bolt-ons, 3.8 is the moves. Okay, next thing I want to talk about, looks. There's nothing to talk about. They're the same exact car, basically. The only thing that differs, I believe, is the side mirrors have turn signals on them. If you get a 3.8 and if you get the 2.0, they don't have turn signals. So that is the only difference when it comes to the exterior. Interior, however, personally, I like 3.8 interiors much better, right? With the 2.0 interior, my favorite one is the one I currently have, which is the premium. It is the tan bucket seats, as you can see. And it's got the nice big screen, which is dope. But the next best one for the 2.0 is the R-Spec, which is the red interior, but it comes with a small, pretty garbage screen. I'm not going to lie to you. However, on a 3.8, you can either get black leather buckets or you can get peanut butter, which I think the peanut butter is dope. If I have like a black 3.8 and I had a peanut butter interior, I think that would be sick. Or even black on black is sick too. So personally, I think the 3.8 interior is better. The screen's pretty much the same, and everything else is pretty much the same. I think they got different gauges, and that's really about it. And maybe a different shift knob, but everything's relatively the same. So, reliability. I've heard the 3.8 is more reliable. That is what I heard. Now, I'm not a Genesis Coupe expert, and everybody has their own experiences, but you're taking out a turbo from the equation, right? So that kind of says something. It probably is more reliable, I'm gonna be honest with you. But I think if you do your maintenance, you can really get away with either one. Give me 1 second. It's been a minute since I pulled up over here. Alright. Let's do some talking outside of the car while the car's just idling. So, what was I? Oh, reliability, yep. So, reliability, I think the 3.8 is honestly going to be more reliable. Just because it is just a straight 6. It's not there's no turbo in the equation. So I think that would definitely make it more reliable. But I feel like as long as you keep up with your maintenance on either car, you should be okay. You should be. Now, don't quote me on that. Do your research. And you go off of that, because I'm not an expert. I'm not a Genesis Coupe expert, but that's what I've been told. Now, I'd say the last thing would be gas, I guess, and it's gonna be pretty much relatively the same on both. I think the 6 gets a little bit MPG, like maybe a mile more, but I'm gonna be honest, you're going to be driving this car pretty hard if you want to enjoy it, and I don't think you're getting a sports car to be worried about gas. Just saying, right? You're not getting a sports car to worry about gas. You don't get a Supra and worry about gas. You get a Supra because you wanted a Supra. You don't get a G80 or G82 and worry about gas. So you're not buying a Jenny to worry about gas. Other than that, it's honestly going to be your call on what you think is better for you, the 2.0 or the 3.8. If I could go back, just the way that I built the car, I would have probably taken the 2.0, because I was riding pretty damn low at one point and I was slammed, cambered out, all that good stuff. And the 2.0, actually, you can go pretty low with them, honestly. The 3.0 though, however, you cannot go too low with them because they have the oil pan issue, which is very low, and that thing is easy to crack. So me personally, I'll go with the 2.0 if that's your goal. Now, if you want performance and you don't want to go big turbo, 3.8 is the way, honestly. Like 3.8 to keep up with pretty much like Q50s, 5.0s, I think scats, all that good stuff. 2.0s, you're right in that. I want to say like WRX, SIs, GTIs, cars like that matter. I mean, maybe, you know, you'll get with some stock Type Rs, maybe you'll get a stock 5.0 here and there, but those are the cars you're going to be keeping up with realistically, right? But if you go big turbo, I mean, sky's the limit at that point. But as it stands, really just depends on what you want out of the car. If you want to go big turbo, get that 2.0. If you want out the box power and your last goal is to be on E85, I'm going to recommend the 3.8. So do your research, go based off of that, and the most important thing, price. 2.0 is going to be anywhere between 2 to 4 grand cheaper. So if you're really on a budget and a 2.0 is more in your budget, then you know that's your obvious answer. But a 3.8 is going to be a couple grand more. I've seen between 2 and 4 grand more, sometimes 5 grand more. But yeah, the 2.0 is a little bit cheaper. So if you're more on a budget, 2.0 is the way. Other than that, you know, this is all personal opinion, and it's going to be based off of the person buying it. So best of luck to you if you are buying a Jenny. If you already have a Jenny, hope you're enjoying it. I know I'm enjoying mine. So other than that, I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Safety.